Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to each one of you watching us live on Talksopedia. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Talksopedia. Now, Talksopedia, as many of you know, is an online talk show that we started in the year 2020 to fight lockdown depression. Just to tell everyone that there is still hope and we can look forward to a brighter future. Now, this is season two, and so far we have got more than 40, 45 guests on the show from different parts of the world, different fields. And today we will have a special guest. Now, our guest is an ex fashion designer who has worked with Sabyasachi Mukherjee. Yeah, and she focused mainly on Indian couture. Now, she is going to launch a new venture along with her husband, which is an end to end product and services ecosystem that revolves around a woman's pregnancy and birthing journey. And the venture is known as Preggerz. She is a two times cancer survivor. She first faced this dreaded disease at the age of 26, and then a decade later, at the age of 36, after the birth of her first child. Now, she supports people with cancer and she has been associated with organizations that supports this cause. Get ready to listen to this fighter, our special guest, Aditi Mittal. Aditi, I welcome you onto the screen.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well. Hello, everyone. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, and welcome to Talksopedia. It's my honor and privilege to have you as a guest.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the lovely introduction. So, hi, everyone whosoever is watching. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah,
And
it'll be my pleasure to share my story and my experiences with you.
right, and that is what we all are waiting for. We all want to know what is your story, Aditi.
So, as Nisha already introduced me, I am 37 today. I stay in Delhi. And now I'm a mother of a 2.5-year-old boy. And career wise, as she said, yes, I have worked with Sabyasachi for 15 years. And I have worked with a lot of celebrities and I have done a lot of styling for them. And then, so I've thoroughly enjoyed that. And yeah, today, as she said, that we are launching something in terms of women's health. So we really wanted to do something in this area. And so um, I think right when I got pregnant and then I got cancer. So I think that is the time when we decided that let's go ahead with this. So yeah, that's what it is. Nisha has already told you that I got cancer first time when I was 26. It was 2010. I had just gotten married. Like, I think it was a year into my marriage. And that's when we got to know about it. And yeah, so that was very, very tough. And I was very young. I didn't know what had happened. And it was something which was all of a sudden. I don't think anyone can think that they can get cancer. So, and also there was no history of cancer in my entire family. So for me, that news, I mean, it didn't really make sense to me initially. And I did not even believe the doctors who told me this. So yeah, so that's we went through the entire treatment. It had its phases, ups and downs. And 10 years later, right after my baby, 6 months into it, I got detected with cancer again in the same breast. So yeah, that is it was 2020 when we first January 2020 when we started the treatment, and it took almost a year and a half. And but today I am already sitting in front of you guys telling you about all of this and already planning to do something of my own. So I think that there is hope, as you said. 2020 was a tough year for, I think, a lot of people. And yeah, so the message is that there is hope, that you can survive even the toughest situations in life if you are strong enough, if you train your brain to do so. Yeah.
Now, Aditi, I can only imagine, or I should rather say, I can't even imagine also, the kind of situation you were in, because unless and until it happens to us, we would never be able to understand, right? How did you manage to keep yourself positive throughout that phase?
So, Nisha, honestly, when the first time when I got to know about it, as I told you that I was in denial, I thought that the doctors are tricking me into it,
Yeah.
and so I went to, of course, the search of a bigger hospital, better doctor, contacts, and all of that started. And I remember that I went to a good hospital. The doctor was good, and again he said the same thing that, Aditi, I'm really sorry, but this is what it is. So it was ductal carcinoma stage 3 for me, which is breast cancer. And it happened all of a sudden. Me and my husband were sitting, and I felt like a little bit of a pain in my breast, a small lump. And without wasting any time, the next day itself, I went to my gynecologist, and she told me that there is something which is not right, and we need to treat it. So within 2 days, life completely changed for me. Um, I remember calling my mother and crying. So initial for me, it was the word itself, cancer, is so big. It comes with so much power that I think that at that point, none of us brains were working because we had a brain freeze. We just didn't know what had happened. So initial reaction was denial. Then it was, of course, fear, and then within like a day or two you feel that, okay, what is next, so uh, positivity comes in a little later, to be very honest. It comes in a little later when you understand what exactly has happened to you. um, I remember that when they confirmed that it was cancer, I did not go home. I went straight from the hospital. I went to work because I did not know how to face my family. And I not face as in, I just didn't know how I will comfort them, where I was already going through so much in my head. So I went to work, and I of course cried it out. And I spoke to Sabyasachi, and I told him that, listen, this has happened. And the first thing that he told me was, Aditi, whatever has happened, you have to obviously face it now. It has happened. You can't take it back. The only advice that I can give you is, please stay away from people who can pull you down. Just surround yourself with people who, even people who love you, can pull you down, So he said, surround yourself with people who can make an atmosphere of positivity around you so you don't feel pulled down. And that advice, I think that was the first step for me to be on the right track. Because initially when so much is happening, the first person who gives you advice is very, very important. Because if they give you a wrong advice, then you can start on a completely wrong track. So for me, that was a good beginning. And I figured that, okay, this has happened. Now it's time for us to treat it. So initially, I was not brave, nothing. But I went to the doctor. Of course, she told me that, we'll do a surgery. We might have to remove your breast. We might have to do this, do that. So figured that it's going to be an extensive treatment. And because nobody in my friend circle, till then, I had not been with anyone, or I was not aware of the disease, what treatments, you have to go through. I just knew that it's something which is very scary. So yeah, it was slowly I understood that, okay, this is happening and it is an extensive treatment and we have to go through this. There is obviously no looking back. You have to go through it. You have no option. So you might as well do it in a way that, people around you don't get stressed. People around you, whosoever is there, their spirits are high. And so I think positivity came from that, from my family, my husband who held my hand. I think I remember in the hospital when, so they saved my breast at that time. And my husband held my hand, and we cried a lot. And then he said that, you know, let's treat it like a fever. Let's not treat it as cancer, because if you think of that, then it's going to be bigger than what it is in your head, and you'll not be able to conquer it. So not having an option was first thing that I understood, that treatment to karna hai, you have to go through. So that, and treat it as a fever, and surround yourself with people who are not going to pull you down, were the key factors that I could survive this treatment. So yeah, positivity came in a lot later, when I used to go to the hospital and I used to see other women going through it, women who were weaker than me, women who, when I looked at them, I thought, I could become their voice in so many ways, because I had the means, I had the family who supported me so much. So from there, when I slowly realized that, I am much better than a lot of situations around me, when I saw kids going through it. So, when you go through all of that, when you see people suffer, you start feeling that your suffering is a lot lesser than them, and then you start thanking God that, when people used to say, oh God, she's so young, she got cancer, my thought in my head was, I'm so young that I can easily beat it. My body can take chemo. It can take 16 cycles of chemotherapy, and I'll be able to come out of it. I don't have any other ailments. So I started counting my blessings, and I started looking at the bigger picture and the positive side of it. So that helped. That helped a lot in terms of being positive, being feeding your brain with the thought that, this is better than the other thing. So yeah, that's what happened. Uh, Frankly, not I 16 cycles of chemo were tough, very tough. And you don't expect a treatment like this to happen to you. But again, the thought that I created in my head was that at least there's a treatment, and at least there's a time that I'm going to come out of it. At least there are doctors who know what to do, who are not clueless. So all those things, small things, I kept feeding my brain. And every time there was a negative thought, I used to try balancing out with something positive. But you have to be constantly at it. I mean, the fight that your body is doing is different, but the fight that you have with your brain is completely different. And I think if you conquer this, then it's a lot easier to conquer the rest.
And
So,
the second time when you realized, when you came to know that, it has hit again, and
okay,
now you
that
have a baby also to take care of.
second time I was angry. First time I wasn't. First time, as I said, I initially was in denial, then fear, then okay, fine, let's just go through it. Now, second time, knowing what all happens in the treatment and how extensive it is. And I had just had a baby. And after baby is when the idea of Preggerz also happened, because after baby, through pregnancy, everybody's like, okay, fine. I was working till almost the last day. And as soon as they gave me my baby, I had no clue what to do with it. He was crying, he was doing this, doing that. So 3 months, 4 months were extremely difficult for me. Firstly, because I also had only one, I mean, I had the second breast, but they had taken out all the tissues, so I could not breastfeed from that breast. So I only had one breast to feed him. So those were challenges that I faced. But 3 months, 4 months went by, 6 months went by, and then slowly things started coming back to normal. I started understanding what my baby is trying to tell me. Things become slightly easier. And I remember, again, I was just sitting in, because now I'm a lot more paranoid, and I check my breasts, almost like every night. I check them once for any lumps. And I checked that night, and I knew that this is not right. Um, and as a matter of fact, I think we had booked our holiday. We were going to Mauritius with Kabir, my son. For the first time, we wanted to, go out with him. And but as soon as I saw that lump, I knew this is trouble. So I went to my doctor, and He did my scan and he told me, Aditi, when are you going for the holiday? I said, I am supposed to go in 2 days. So he said, okay, why don't you go for your holiday and then we will talk. I knew it then that, this is not right. Anyway, went for the holiday. We came back and again started everything again in the same breast. And this time they said that, we'll have to remove the breast. Now, just imagine human psychology. At that time, in my head, it was all about the baby. How will I hold him? Because they're going to take away my breast. I will not be able to hold him. For how long will I not be able to hold him? So it was all about the baby. You keep yourself a little backwards. You don't keep yourself in the forefront. But because I had gone through a cesarean, my body was so weak already. And then they said that, we will start with chemo right away on 1st of January when COVID happened. My doctor refused surgery last minute. It was just crazy. That time was crazy. And yeah, so the treatment started, but all along the fear. Initially, I think the first time when I got cancer, it was a lot more easier for me to express myself. But this time, I really had to hold myself back because I had a baby who was looking at me 24/7, and leaving him at home and going for my treatment and losing my hair. For him to see his mother like this, though he was young, but still for him it was, they can sense it. So that was my biggest challenge. Mastectomy, then again 16 cycles of chemo, and my body was a lot weaker than the first time. But the whole, as I said, that you need to have, it's a life's purpose. Earlier it was that, I'm too young, I still have my entire life. I'm going to go through this so that I can lead that life. And this time it was Kabir. For me, it was like, I've just given birth. I have to go through treatment. I have to get okay for this child. So again, it's all about this, I guess. Mental strength, positive outlook. These are the only two things that helped me go through it the second time. Second time was very, very, very difficult. But I also know this, that if I get it another 2 times, I'll save through it because I'll find my reason to do so. So yeah, losing breast was, as I said, first time, and I'm going to keep telling you because I have understood that, first time and second time, what all changes that happened in my mind, my thought process, how it changed. When I was 26, I had really long hair, beautiful hair, and they told me we're going to, you're going to lose your hair. So for a 26-year-old girl, losing her hair, big deal, right? I went to the parlor, I told them to shave it off, and then I understood that there is another battle I have to win here because people who were shaving my head off were laughing at me. So initial thought was I should go and punch them. But then I realized they don't know better because unfortunately, women who are going through cancer, they cover their head because people laugh at them. So people don't know that it's a part of a disease. It's a part of a treatment. So I took that upon myself to tell people I wanted people to come to me and ask me that why have you done this, so that I can tell them that it's a part of something that we are going through. We are already in so much pain, so don't expect us to cover our heads or wear painful itchy wigs, just because you can't see us like that. So the first time it was that. Second time it was losing my breast. Initially, I mean, it doesn't hit you till the time you see yourself without one. So when I saw myself without it, when I came back home, I was like, this is too much. I can't, you know. Um, and then the whole thing of whether you want another breast, whether you want to go through reconstruction, another massive surgery. You the thing is that you start questioning yourself. Are you so shallow that you need another breast, that you are ready to go through so much again just because you need a breast? But yeah, that was a constant battle in my head. And I think I had to decide for myself that I can't see myself like this, because if every time I see myself like this, it'll remind me of the days, of painful days that I've gone through. So I decided to go through a reconstruction. So that took a lot of time. But thankfully, my family was very, very, very supportive. They took care of Kabir and they were in my house all the time. So time nikal gaya. I mean, now that it's gone, I look at it as something that I've conquered again, and something that's a part of my story. And hopefully, someday someone will benefit from hearing it. Maybe I'll help them, maybe I'll reduce their pain or reduce their fight somehow. So that is my whole aim in life now. So, yeah.
I'm really amazed, the way you looked at things and the way you fought and conquered. Okay, it's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, even by after when I was listening to you, it was difficult for me. So I don't know how you did that, but whatever you have done a brilliant job, Aditi.
Thank you.
How do you, since you had mentioned in your profile also that you're associated with a lot of organizations that support this cause, so how do you, give support? How do you provide support to these people?
Nisha, the thing is that I realized that the first time when I got cancer, if I had a helping hand like I am offering today, and I don't do anything, I just talk and I tell them what is it that they're going to face and how is it that they can make it a little bit easier for themselves. So my only thing is, um, usually what happens is, because I have lots of the people who know me that I've gone through it, so I go and meet patients one on one. And before meeting the patient, I always insist on meeting the family first. Because a patient who's going through so much is like a baby. So if you don't have a support system around him which is strong enough, it'll be very difficult for the patient to go through it. So I usually meet the family first and I tell them that, listen, things are going to get very tough. But you have to not make the person who's going through it feel that they're going through something really big. As Sanchit told me, that let's treat it like fever. So, and of course, the fact that when people hear it, the initial shock is so big that if they meet someone who has gone through it and who is now leading a regular life, is a big support. So for me, meeting people one on one is very, very important. I'll meet the patient, I'll meet his family, her family, and I'll speak to them, and then whatever support they need, I offer that. And it's usually just, it's so surprising, just one meeting and things become easier, especially for the family, because they don't know how to handle it. It's new for everyone, nobody has gone through this before. So for the family, for them it's like, okay, if it's their daughter, if it's their mother, it gives them a little hope that it's fine. It's going to take a year and a half, then things will get normal. So I think that just by talking and just by listening to their fears, it helps a lot. So that is something that I feel that I do it in a very small way, and I would like to do it a lot more. But whatever I can do, when I have a baby now, I have Preggerz to work on. But whatever little bit I can do, even if I can speak to 5 people, it somehow is impacting their life, then that's good enough for me. So it's all about telling them that they can conquer this, making your thoughts more stronger. And when they see somebody, so I really miss that the first time around, is what I was trying to tell you, that if I had somebody who could show me that this is not the end of life, and it's going to just take some few years from your life and you want to go back to absolutely normal life, and at least it's treatable, then that would have helped me a lot, because that would have taken away a lot of my fear, which did not happen. Because your doctors, I'm glad I went to the doctor I went to. She was almost like a mother to me. But they have so many people. I mean, cancer today, if you go and sit in the oncology section, you will be surprised to see that there are so many people in that section. It's like cough and cold today, you know, because I think every 2 women in 10 get breast cancer. So it's so much that you learn by sitting there, that how you can impact somebody's life. How, when I was going through it also, and when I was going through my chemo, I used to, chemo is like they'll just give you medicine for 4 hours. You're sitting there ideal. I used to tell my doctor, please send people who are scared to me while I'm going through my chemo, because that I can talk to them. I'm not wasting that time. At least there is some hope for them. I mean, though when I got it again, that's something I didn't want them to know, that you can get it again also. But yeah, I mean, little bits I do, and I feel that if it helps, it helps. I have, yeah.
And what exactly are you planning to do through Preggerz? Could you please tell us more about Preggerz?
Preggerz. So, as I said, when I was pregnant and I gave birth, uh, 4 months went by, and it was a complete disaster. Honestly, I did not know how to handle things, and I went into depression, postpartum depression. I had to seek help because there is just so much that goes on in a woman's body that you just completely lose control. I mean, it's great for women for whom this comes easy, but for me, it did not. And then, what we realized was, firstly, the market was so fragmented that for me, first, to understand what was happening, whether it happens to other women also or not, and no clue. You know, looking for a doctor to take care of what has happened to you, looking for a doctor for your mental wellness, looking for things in terms of nutrition, what you should be eating, what shouldn't be eating. Uh, it was I was all over the place. Now, who has the time to give birth, have a baby, and start searching on internet that I should look for this, look for that? And so at that time we understood that it's so important, and the lack of a marketplace just for women. Everything is based, we give so much importance to the baby that we forget the mother in the process. And that's how the conditioning is, because people feel that she's a woman, she'll give birth, it's natural. It's not so natural anymore. Your life changes after having a baby. It was easier earlier. So we realized at that time that it's so important to offer some sort of help to women. And so we decided to make this platform, which is end to end pregnancy services. Whether it's your mental wellness, whether it's a couple therapy, which I think is very important, because people don't plan this. They don't understand how it's going to impact their lives. But it does, because both of you are working. It's not so easy as it was earlier. So we wanted that to come in focus. We wanted women to understand that there is this place where if they go, they can talk to other women at any time. They can access any doctor anytime. What their skin is going through, what their hair is going through. We don't have time to go through internet and look for everything. So it's consolidated in one place. Whatever your needs are, you want somebody to come home, give you a massage, you want somebody to come home, take your vitals, everything under one roof. So, trying our best to help somehow, especially women, because we think that women health has been ignored far too long. And now is the time that we should change it. And we are realizing that a lot of women are also looking for a place like this. So that's how Preggerz idea came into life, and we should be going live very, very soon.
And it's an online platform, right?
It's an online platform, yes.
All
Yes. So we'll
right.
have lots of hospitals also on board, skincare, hair care. We also have something called Astro, where if you want, your baby name or date or
Ah, okay,
whatever.
okay.
We have a lot of fun. We have a fun section where we want women to have fun, get their photographs clicked, do a baby moon. Not a baby moon, we
Wow.
are calling it something else. It's pregation, where it's like before getting married, you go for a bachelorette. It's
Hmm.
like that. We want women
Okay.
to have fun, complete
All
fun.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just love this idea because as you said, most of the times it is just we just put it on women's minds that you are a woman, you are a mother, so you are married now, you have to go through there, and it's natural, it comes natural.
Naturally. Yeah.
It does not happen that way. I have gone through it. Both my
Yeah.
kids came in this world through cesarean, so I know how difficult that was.
Yeah.
The second pregnancy was, of course, easy for me because from the first I learnt on my own that
Yeah.
this is
Correct.
what we need to do.
Correct.
But the first time it was very difficult as there was no one to talk to. I did not
Yeah.
know what to do. I was 34. I had no idea. So
Yeah.
I just wished, should have happened in
Yeah.
2014. So good job, great thing,
Thank you.
great thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Now,
Thank you.
now coming to work, okay,
Yeah.
Preggerz, and you working with Sabyasachi in a completely different setup.
Yeah. Yes.
What is different? How do you find it?
Sabya, I mean, 15 years is a long time, and I have enjoyed every second of it. I don't think I know a lot of people who can say that about work. But since the day I joined him, I think he taught me more than I learned in my college. Great person to work with. I got crazy amount of exposure. That life is completely different. I mean, I worked with so many celebrities. We did so many movies together. We did all these weddings, Deepika, Priyanka. It's a different ball game altogether. Yeah, I mean, that is something. The glam side of it is amazing. Most of the time when I go to parties, this is what they want me to talk about. Because everybody is interested. Ke aap batao what gossip, give me something. Yeah, so that I learned a lot. And Sabya is a great friend now also, and we hope to do a lot of things in future. But for me right now, the priority was Preggerz, because I think that both me and my husband, both, we decided that now is the time. And this realization mostly happened, initially I wanted to start something post birth, those 3-4 months where a woman needs maximum amount of support, and over reliance on your parents and dadis and nannies. I mean, their advices are good, but somehow in today's world it doesn't really implement so well. So that's how Preggerz started. But yeah, Sabya ke saath, whatever creativity I do, I'm still as creative. I still would like to start something of my own with Sabya. Whatever it is, I'm going to go back to that also. I mean, that goes in parallel in my life. That is my soul, you can say that. So yeah, I'm just trying to do everything that makes me happy, little bit, whatever I can, but I'm going to steal everything and do it.
And how do you manage your day-to-day activities now since you have a baby now? So how do you manage? What is your daily schedule?
Don't ask. That has been tough because I think because of Corona, the school's not starting, and to engage your baby. Also, after going through so much, I hardly had the energy in me to take care of a baby. So I'm trying to focus on my health first, my mental health, my physical health. I'm trying to get my strength back so that I can be fit to be around him. So yeah, the entire day goes with Kabir running around. This 5 o'clock was something which is really planned, because I called my parents. I was like, somebody has to take care of him, otherwise
Yeah.
this is not happening. So I have had. It's been very challenging, especially without. In Corona, most people couldn't travel. We didn't have help in the house. It was a mess, but slowly we are coming back to life, coming back to regular self. So yeah, that's what is happening.
Aditi, we take life for granted so much,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now in these past 10, 11 years, when you went through such difficult phase, what is that one thing that you learned about life, or something that you realized?
Ah, honestly, when I after going through the first one, I did not understand the value of it. I did not. And I thought that, theek hai, it got over, I got okay. And 10 years I had full party. I did everything I could. When it happened again, um, is when now I know how important it is. Thoughts though we have, all of us have. We read a lot on internet, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. Doctor told me change your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle disease. And when the doctor tells you lifestyle disease, what do you think? Okay, fine, I'll go tomorrow onwards, I'll change my diet and I'll start exercising. This is what lifestyle change for us is. But it's not. What I realized was it's not a lifestyle change. Lifestyle change, of course, that's a part of it, is when you start changing your thoughts, when you start changing people who are around you, who are giving you positive thoughts all the time. What sort of atmosphere you have at work, what sort of atmosphere you have at home. These are the biggest things that I've understood is a change that you should shift to. That is one of the biggest change that you should do in your life. And it's not just in terms of cancer, but in terms of your life, to have a quality life. This is something that sounds very small, but it's very difficult to do. Very, very difficult. But once you start training your brain to do so, then you will see changes happening in a lot of your life. Other small ailments will start disappearing, from your body, and you will feel good, you'll feel better. So apart from exercising and diet, change what you're feeding your mind is, I think, that's very important. And second thing, which I realized in the first one also, but second time it hit me, is about I would say counting your blessings. Elders say count your blessings, but it means so much. It When I lost my breast, honestly, Nisha, it was not easy. But what I fed my brain was, at least I did not lose an arm or a leg. When you see people who don't have that, that impacts their life. I had just a breast missing. I had just this missing. I had just that missing. People who go through worse are still surviving. That is a thought that I completely rely on, and every time I feel extremely low, I feed myself with that, and that helps. So gratitude is one thing that I am going to stick to for the rest of my life. Is That's the only way you will look at positive side of the story and not the negative. So gratitude is something that I have understood helps.
And other than Preggerz, other than Sabyasachi, what are your future plans? Any other plans?
I would like to. As I said, I'm a creative person. I would like to do something of my own. I like doing interiors a lot.
Hmm.
Sabya and I both wanted to do it together, but he's busy with other things. So that is something that I would like to go into: interiors, home decor, clothing. I'm a couture designer, so all these things, they interest me still. They will always interest me. Yeah, so I would like to start something of my own after I take care of Preggerz. So yeah, right now all concentrations, energies on Preggerz. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, Aditi, we all know you as a fashion designer, as an entrepreneur very soon. But who is Aditi?
Very tough question. Um, Aditi is a dreamer. I I I like getting lost in my own thoughts.
Yeah.
I like I'm not so ambitious, but I like to do things.
Hmm.
Um, I love being around people who love me. Love being around friends. I love friends. I hang out with them. I like taking life little easy. I prefer that. Enjoying small things in life is something that and कुछ करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है, but you just need to make plan a day in a way that one thing of it will excite you. So very small thing. I'm not made of big things. I'm made of very small things. But everything that I do consciously, I try to do it in a way that I'm happy. It lifts my mood up, and so automatically the entire vibration of the house changes. So yeah, that's who I am. A dreamer will
Just
always
like
stay.
Yeah, just like your name, you're just, spreading sunshine and light all over. Yeah.
Thank
Now,
you.
one last message or one last thing that you would like to tell, say to our viewers.
Uh, my only thing is that I would say that train your mind. Um, if you have a strong and a calm mind, any sort of big situation or a disastrous situation you are in, your mind can train you to think that it's small. And it also has the power that if you have a small situation, it'll make it look like it's really big. So if you treat it right, if you feed your brain with positive thoughts, it's all about the power of this. And just keep your thoughts to yourself, keep your thoughts completely filtered, and that's going to give you some sort of help. So I would say do that. Also, get your checkups done regularly. This is something that I always tell women. Please go to your gynecologist regularly. There are so many videos of breast examination online. Please go through them and do your own physical breast exam, because if you if you find that there is something wrong, go to the doctor ASAP. If you treat it early, you will get better early. So that would be my only message, that please go to your doctors, go to your gynecologist, and keep your mind full of positive thoughts.
Thank you so much, Aditi, for all the stories that you shared, all the wisdom that you shared. And I can wish you and pray for you that keep conquering all the battles in your life
Thank
and
you.
keep shining.
Thank you so much, Isha. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, for whosoever is listening, if it's your mother, if it's somebody's mother, somebody's daughter, please be a good support. Please don't treat them like patients. And if there is anything that I can do for anyone, please message me. I'm always here and I'll help anyone and everyone out there. So thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you once again, and best wishes for Preggerz. And
Thank you.
keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you to everybody who watched us live on Talksopedia. I will be back next month with a new guest. Till then, have a great weekend. Take care. Bye bye.